you have to believe in yourself, and you have to trust in your ability to figure things out, and you have to be gracious with yourself. Why can't you dream? Why can't you try something you've never done before? Just get in motion every day. Look who I have here today for the Growth Day morning show in person. That's real. That's not like a virtual thing. How weird is that?
How are you?
I can actually look at you.
Yeah.
It's weird. This week going to be Believe It week, right? This is our mindset this week is believe. So Jamie, you just did this huge event, like 14 hours live yesterday. What did you learn in this process? Like if you had like two things that came to mind for these folks of like manifesting a huge visionary event, like what two things come to mind? Like hey, I was able to manifest this because these two things. What do you think comes to mind?
Oh my gosh, Brendon. Well, it's wild to answer that because I don't know if I've processed it all. Do you know what I mean?
I know you haven't.
Yeah, it's like happening in real time. So you guys, right before Brendon and I just hopped on live, we're in the room, we're in a filming room right now, and with other people here, my publisher from Simon & Schuster was just on the phone, and we're processing everything happening live. But I think that, you know, what I would say is just, it also, you know, it starts with believing that it's possible, and being willing to put yourself out there. And you know, we talked about this a little bit with just being willing to try something. I had no idea how this would go. It was my first ever live event that I've ever done.
Show up every day. Yeah. She showed up for her belief and her dream every day. And now she's, you know, the #1 best new release on Amazon. So already a #1 bestseller, her first book. She pulled off her first event yesterday. 200,000 people watched. Yeah. So why can't you dream? Why can't you try something you've never done before? Why can't you say, you know what? I have this feeling in my heart, and that feeling in your heart has been sown there. She and I both believe in a creator. We believe in God, and there's some divine reason you've been gifted with all of those impulses you have, those dreams. They've been I always say they've been sown into your heart. And if they're there, follow them, work for them, ask for them, dream for them. And if you do it over and over and over for a decade, like she has in, you know, she did It Cosmetics, and then for what, the last 2 years? So yesterday was the culmination of 2 years. Yeah. And not just her, you know what's cool? It's not just her last 2 years. It's Dean's team mastering the model. It's Sage teams mastering the production. It's Tony building the studio. Like all these serendipitous things had to have happened across 4 or 5 teams and across what, 19 speakers. All these things happening in all of our lives all had to come together to one day. And it only happens because every one of them is moving their lives forward. Yeah. And so you want to be around people. This is why we talk about Growth Day so much. You want to be around that spirit, that spirit of people who are absolutely growing, moving towards their dreams. Even if we can talk about discouragement and we can have empathy and we can be like, oh, life is hard and it's a struggle. We can honor the struggle and just keep moving things forward. Because think about, if all those people hadn't been moving their lives forward in the last 2 years, the innovation required to pull off yesterday would not have happened. Yeah. Right? So it all came, it's what Paulo Coelho, one of my mentors and great friends, he wrote the book The Alchemist, best-selling, the most followed author in the world online, and the 5th best-selling book of all time, The Alchemist. Here's what he said in The Alchemist. He says, when you pursue your dream, all the world conspires to support it.
So good.
And so you think she put this book out there, she put this event out there, and all the world, the last 2 years, is conspiring. Isn't that beautiful?
So beautiful. So that just asks, you know, that reminds me. So what is your dream right now? Like you're joining us live right now on the Growth Day Morning Show. What is something on your heart that if you just put it out there, if you put it out there more boldly, if you take that step, if you make that ask, if you ask someone to show up for help, how is the world then going to conspire, right? All the world conspires for you. And
you show up each day. And you work with faith. Yeah. How many times was this event in your mind and this book launch in your mind a train wreck? In the last 4 weeks, how many times did you cry? Did you get overwhelmed? I don't want you all to see this beautiful makeup she puts on and this beautiful soul she is yesterday.
I've taken off on the morning show. I've taken my makeup off on the Growth Day Morning Show.
I just want you all to listen very closely. What you saw yesterday didn't feel that smooth in the manifesting of the dream.
Yeah, so good.
Right? The output No one sees the hours and the tears and the frustration and the late night phone calls and texts, right? That we all do. She does, I do, like we commiserate together. And then when you show up though, it's game time. You show up, it's your Super Bowl, you're ready, you're gonna deliver. Like yesterday, she just delivered for 14 hours. 14 hours. So I just want you to understand, it's okay that you look like a hot mess right now. It's okay that yesterday you cried because you felt so far away from the dream. Yeah. Do you show up every day with faith and work for that momentum, work for that growth, work for that contribution, that difference, that impact, that change in your life? Yeah. That's the thing. It's because for years, all these people were working with faith each day to move their lives forward, that then the serendipitous thing could happen. But pull one of them out. Pull. If I hadn't, like years ago, had to figure out the 7-day live launch, that is like the model we all use for challenges now. If Tony didn't pivot from live events in the pandemic, if Dean Graziosi didn't pivot from TV to online, if all the speakers hadn't at some point in their life pivoted from doing their one job to I want to share a message. If all that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Yeah. This is one reason you have to, in some way, in my opinion, you got to believe in a God or a higher order or some grand design that's so beyond us, because that seems so magical. Yesterday was a 14-hour movie, and it was a movie of possibility. I hope you'll watch it. You can still sign up to go see the replay. Yeah. And if you go to believeit.com, is that right? Is that where she's at?
Go to believeit.com, becomingunstoppable.com, in the Facebook group there. Yeah, the replays are up right now. They're going away. Yeah, and you know, it was something that was so special. By the way, one thing Brendon just said too is like the messy part, right? I think that's so important, because I think all of us sometimes feel alone during that messy part, or like it's just us. There was so many messy parts, so many details, so much hard work, so many tears that went into yesterday's event, but also that went into the book launching today, my first ever book launching today. And, you know, we're just like everyone else, even though the event was incredible. 214,000 people watched it. 214,000 people got a seat at
you
the
guys.
Yeah.
We saw so many of you in the chat. I want to let you know. Yes. Thank you, GrowthDay Morning Show. Yes. You guys were in the chat up in the grill yesterday, like, oh my God, Brendon and Jamie, we see you guys. We love you on the GrowthDay Morning Show. I want to let you know, when I was dancing, and I saw it in the chat, and I saw many GrowthDay shout outs. So thank you guys for that. Yes. But I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt. No. I just got excited because I was like, wow, that really happened.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, the behind the scenes stuff, just to share with some of you, like, it's a lot, right? Like, I was up all night. Just the details. I was writing speaker thank you notes, like they're right over there. Like, just every little detail that goes into it. And I just think that someone out there going like, oh, I don't have a team. And yes, it's amazing. It's so serendipitous that so many people showed up and everything else. And yet I still think what Brendon said too is just you showing up for yourself. You doing whatever you can, the scrappy stuff. Like right now live, I'm just going to show you guys this, because I think I'm going to fix this right now, because I think on Facebook we're probably looking down a little bit. I'm going to show Brendon what I actually do in California every day. 1 sec, Instagram, you're going to go up higher for a second. For a second, I do this, and then I tape it. Blue tape. See, we're so fancy on the GrowthDay Morning Show. We are so fancy. I tape it so it doesn't fall. But now we're able to see Facebook a little bit higher and Instagram, so that Facebook doesn't see us looking down.
I see.
You see what I mean?
Oh yeah. That's what I do with my that thing I brought in today, but it didn't work.
Oh, is that what you do normally? Okay. Okay. Sorry guys, we're just blue taping the phone.
It's just happening.
I laughed so hard when so on this morning show.
I think you were making fun of me the first time about the blue tape, and now you're like, this stuff is good.
Listen, do you know how many rolls of this I have now that get us every day on the GrowthDay Morning Show? I was laughing because
see how handy it comes in. We've taped this is stacked on 2 boxes, and we've got the blue tapes taping everything down. It's just I'm sorry.
I love sharing it because listen, like I think sometimes people feel like, oh, you guys, I remember the early days at It Cosmetics. Now people see it, as multi-billion dollar company. But literally for years, I was telling Brendon this the other day, we ran out of space. We had no desks. I would take a huge FedEx box or UPS box, and that would be someone's desk who started as a new employee. Like, you do whatever you can, right? I'm gonna take this piece off.
I got it.
You got it? Okay. And so I just want to show everyone live how we are literally taping up the phone right now to be able to do the GrowthDay morning show from this kind of filming room, just to be live with you. So whatever you got going on, don't worry, you're not alone. It's all good.
Let's do it. I mean, this phone's propped up on duct tape, and we got this box over going on over here. It's like, listen, here's what I love. I would just love for you all to get. Oh, what is this now? Is that from there? Oh, here's what I'd love for you all to get is get in motion.
Yeah.
Just get in motion every day. This is why I even this today on traveling before we met up this morning, I did my high performance planner. I plan out the day. And why is this important? Why do we have to think through things? Because every day could be a hot mess if in some way in the morning we don't organize ourselves. Mm-hmm. Jamie goes for a long walk, or I sit down with the planner, or we look at our calendar, we look at our, like, you have to organize yourself and just be in motion each day. Mm-hmm. It can be as simple as, oh, today's the day the house gets cleaned. Great, you got in motion. Right? You ordered your desk. Okay, great. Today you built this site, you made the call, you text your friends, you did something to develop a more aliveness, more connection, more meaning in your life. This is what we're always talking about, GrowthDay, right? Aliveness, connection, and meaning. Aliveness, connection, meaning. Aliveness, connection, meaning. But meaning comes from meaningful pursuits. You have to be in motion towards something. Tony yesterday talked about, he's always talking about his idea of momentum and progress equaling happiness. And I think that's really true, unless you have progress and you don't feel it because you don't have the faith and the joy that you're bringing in. And I just want to give a shout out to Jamie for how much joy and presence she brought to the show yesterday. That's really hard to do for that many hours. And so it shows that she's been training on this a long time. You know, I watched you walk out so many times, and I could see her head is in the show. And she walks out, she's like, "Ba-da!" She's like, "Here we go." I guess we're going to move the show forward.
And you know what I kept imagining, you know how you talk about Brendon always says, who needs you on your A game today, right? And some days that person is our kids, or some days it's the person that one day is going to learn from us on something we've overcome. We're going to share that with them one day, right? Who needs us on our A game? And yesterday I just kept imagining, you know, we had 214,000 people sign up for the event, but I imagined that one person every time I walk out there. And I was like, okay, this is 14 hours. If I'm blessed enough to have the time of one person showing up and they're going to be there, like, how can I serve them? Like, how can I serve them? And for me, it was getting out of myself yesterday and going, how can I serve? And so 14 hours into the event, like by the very end, I was still jumping up and down, like, because it wasn't about me. Do you know what I mean? And I think that this is a time, again, we talk a lot about this, where we're all like, we've gone through a hard season. Robin Roberts, by the way, who was the first speaker yesterday at my event, said something so profound. And in case you missed this, I want to share it because this is huge. We were talking about getting out, like being 14 months into a tough season. And, you know, she's had so many setbacks in her life and probably some of the most incredible victories anyone could ever imagine, right? She's won almost every award on the planet. She's wakes up, you know, all of America every single day on Good Morning America. And she said something so profound that out of all of her accomplishments, out of everything she's gone through, the things she is most proud of, the things that fulfills her the most, that brings her the most joy, that she's most proud of, are the things she had to overcome. The things she had to overcome, not this accomplishment or that accomplishment or this outcome or this achievement. It was the stuff she had to go through and overcome. And I thought it was so profound because so many of us are in a hard season right now, or we're not seeing the traction we want in our business, or we're not all the things, right? The pandemic's been tough on a lot of families, a lot of parents. And think of all the things that we're overcoming right now, right? It doesn't mean they're fun when we're going through them, but the things we're overcoming are the things that a lot of times we end up being the most proud of. And I just thought that was amazing because we talk about feeling the day a lot. And when we think of it that way, it's like, oh, wow. Yes, I'm in the midst of a hard time, but I'm in the midst of something I'm going to overcome and I'm going to be the most proud of. And I thought that was such a powerful way to start the day yesterday. Wasn't that so good? So good. yeah, the stuff she
Listen, that's
shared,
a belief. That is a belief. And you guys should write this down. I will overcome. Someday you're going to overcome the circumstances you have right now. And you're going to be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
But you can be proud of yourself every day if you're making momentum towards that.
Yeah.
Some days you do. There's a day where you surmount the problem, right? It's over, it's done. Like you achieved it, you broke through. But the long journey to there, you have to believe in yourself and you have to trust in your ability to figure things out. And you have to be gracious with yourself. Some of you are so hard on yourself, and we see it in the GrowthDay community all the time. Like, I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, be easy on yourself, be gracious on yourself. Know that you will overcome. Just have that as a belief. Like, I'll overcome this. Yeah. I'll get better. I'll improve, and you will. And you'll develop greater mastery. So I'm gonna come back to something because someone just called this out on the thing. You never answer my questions.
What?
Jamie never answers my questions.
What are you talking about?
No. Do you remember the questions? What's 2 things you learned to manifest the event yesterday? What's 2 things you felt like that, like 2 specific, like these are things that you felt like helped you manifest them. So someone just called me out on that. I was like, ask your question again, but I'm like, oh God, I forgot. Well, we get so excited. We go all over the place. Yeah. And because you know what, we're celebrating today, y'all. I just want to let you know, I hope you're all celebrating, Jamie. I am. I just keep saying, you don't even know how big it is yet, what just happened. It's so amazing. So
that's, I think the thing is, you know, you guys, I'm never going to give an answer that's not authentic here. I will show up real. Yeah. You've seen me take my makeup off. You see all the things that we're so real on the show. And the real answer to that is, I'm literally in the second trying to process what just happened. I'm trying to process that 214,000 people were part of this event, and that so many incredible human beings, Brendon Burchard, and we had 19 live speakers on the day yesterday. Every single one of them showed up to serve, and I'm processing that, right? I talk a lot in Believe It, actually. For anyone out there who's a lone wolf, who feels like you can just do it on your own, you got this, you don't need to count on anyone else, it's a badge of honor to be independent. I thought that my whole life, and I realized, and I go, not to be so deep on this, but I talk about this and Believe It, that through my journey of not being able to carry a pregnancy, all these things, and needing to look into adoption and surrogacy, and then finding out I was adopted by surprise, and this whole journey I went through, I realized life isn't meant to do alone. And I realized, me thinking it's okay to be a lone wolf, I got this, I'm independent. That's actually, for me, and I think for a lot of us, maybe you guys might relate to this too, but it's not a badge of honor. It's actually a deep-seated fear that I'm not worthy of other people showing up for me, right? And I had that realization, I have a deep-seated fear I'm not worthy of other people showing up. And so when I realized that, that's when I started changing my life. And I talk a lot about that and Believe It, and how I learned to ask other people to show up for me the way I always show up for them. And yesterday was not just a manifestation of that lesson coming to life before my eyes. I'm processing that so many of my friends and so many of those, like you guys know, those speakers have busy schedules. They get asked to do millions of things every day. And the fact that they showed up for me and for you, right? Because I told them how much this means to me, that you guys are going to be there with your time, spending your precious time. And I'm processing that they showed up for me, and I'm processing that they showed up for you. And I'm just so overwhelmed with gratitude, and haven't processed it all yet. So that's where I'm at. There's my answer.
Get it.
There's my answer.
Congratulations, Jamie. Go support Believe It. It's #1 of new releases on Amazon right now. Please support her book. And thank you all for being here with us. I mean, every single day I do that. Oh my gosh. Every single day is a good day to grow. Thanks, everybody. Bye. This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.